Hi, I'm Michael, and behind the camera is Ellie. We are the Bill Paying Hobbyists. It's time for episode 2, and we wanted to test 4 more hacks to see if they save us time, money, and effort, instead of buying the actual product at full price. We're all about budgeting, and hopefully we can save you a few extra bucks too. Let's get to it. Alright, so today for our hacks, we've got one where someone used a coin and a wrench because the wrench was too big for the nut or the bolt they were trying to loosen up. We've got one for staying clean, not making a mess when you're drilling holes. We'll show you that one. One for keeping your plywood from blowing out if you're drilling big holes in it, or any kind of hole actually for that matter. And the other one is basically a depth gauge. So for the first one, let's test out keeping things clean. Basically, you just take a Coke bottle and the cap. They've done it a bunch of different ways. One person cut the bottom off and drilled through here. I found that limiting because if I do that, then I can only use it for that size drill bit. And if I make the hole too big and I'm using a smaller hole the next time, all of the dust or whatever I'm gonna drill in from my wall is gonna fall through the hole. So what I did is took a bottle like this and I cut the top off and I saved the cap. That way I can put this cap on here and I drilled a hole. As you can see, I wrote a quarter on this cap. What that means is that's for my 1/4 inch drill bit. So let me show you how it works. As you can see, that one works really well. It kept all the dust from getting on the floor. I was able to dump it out into my trash can. And the other cool thing about this one is, if I save all my caps from empty Coke bottles, I can just take this off. And if I need to use a different size bit, like this one is for 3/16, I just screw that on there. And now I can use a 3/16 bit and I still have the same tight fit, keeping the dust off my floor. So I would say this one is perfectly hacked. Hack number 2. This one is using a wrench and a coin to loosen up a nut or a bolt if you don't have the right size wrench. So for this test, to see if it actually works, I have a 1/2 inch nut with a 1/2 inch bolt. I just put it through some plywood so that we could make it easy for this demonstration. And a 9/16 wrench with a 1/4. Right now, the nut is only hand tight. It's finger tight. So we're gonna see if it will even turn. Again, this is just finger tight, so I should be able to just put my wrench that's too big, drop this 1/4 in here and turn it, and it should loosen it up, and it does. Okay, now I want to test this. I really want to test it, so I'm going to tighten this up. Now let's see if it'll really work. Now that it's tight, we're going to drop the 1/4 in, and let's see if we can turn it to loosen it. Look at that. It really does work. So I'm going to say this one is hacked. It actually works. 9/16 wrench and a 1/4 on a 1/2 inch nut. Hack number 3 is using tape, any kind of tape that you have, as a depth gauge. You might want to be careful with this one. If you use the wrong kind of tape, it probably won't stick to your drill bit. And for this, I'm just going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit and a piece of scrap cedar. This cedar is 2 inches thick, right from right here. And I only want to drill 1 inch deep. So, or halfway through. I don't want to drill all the way through it. It's really simple. I'm just going to go about halfway down. So hold that there. That's about halfway. Take a piece of tape. Check it. Yes, I'm about halfway through. Fold it over. Put this in my drill. And then when I drill, I just stop when I get to the tape. I have not drilled all the way through my piece of wood, and now I have about a 1 inch deep hole. Pretty simple. It's a perfect fix. If you start pushing and you continually doing it and you're not paying attention, I have found that this piece of tape will actually start sliding up and it'll make it deeper and deeper. So you need to pay attention when you're drilling. Pretty simple hack. Hack number 4 is trying to keep your plywood from blowing out when you drill holes into it. What we're going to use for this one is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and a 3/8 inch drill bit. Let me show you first what happens if you do it the wrong way. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I'm not going to install that in my house. Now let's do it the right way. All right, to keep yourself from having blowout, use a backer plate, some kind of piece of wood, scrap wood or something, put it underneath there. I would recommend clamping it down as well. Make it nice and tight. The tighter you make the piece you're drilling into to your backer piece, the less chance of having a blowout. All right, let's see how we do. No blowout at all. Look how beautiful that is. Now we did get a little bit here, and to save that from happening when you're starting, take some painter's tape and put it over where you're going to drill your hole. Let me show you. And I'm going to put that there. I'll put that there. Now let me clamp this down. Nice and tight. Does it take a little extra time to do this? Yes, but if you're making something nice and beautiful, don't you want to take the extra time? All right, and now we're going to drill this hole. Nice and clean there. We have a little bow up here, but that can be sanded. I don't have a blowout. It's not peeling away. I can sand that off and make it nice and beautiful. And that's how you keep from having a blowout when you're drilling through plywood or any piece of wood. Sometimes it'll happen in regular wood too. So let me go over the hacks and let you know which ones are good and which ones aren't. Hack number 1 is using a Coke bottle with the cap to catch debris when you're drilling overhead. For our purposes, we use drywall. This one is a good hack. It works great. Just remember to use the size drill bit, drill through your cap, and use that for your hole. If you use a smaller drill bit on the next one, you're gonna have a space in the cap and it's gonna fall out. So that one is definitely hacked. Hack number 2 was using a wrench and a coin to loosen a nut. I was really skeptical about that one. I didn't want to use it, or I hoped that it didn't work. I really hoped it didn't work because I'm a fan of using the correct tool for the project. However, it did work. So I'm gonna have to say it's hacked. And again, if you just don't have the right size tool and you need something and you've got to get it done, grab a coin, grab a washer, something hard that you can use, and it will loosen it up for you. Hack number 3 is using a piece of tape as a depth gauge. It's 50-50 for me because I know that if you use it over time, that piece of tape is gonna start creeping up on the drill bit and your depth is gonna get deeper and deeper. So just be cognizant of that and pay attention to where your tape is. Hack number 4 was keeping blowout from when you're drilling into plywood. Just keep your 2 pieces of wood together tight when you do that. You have your piece of plywood on top and you have your backer plate on the bottom, and you want to keep those tight. If you have a little bit of gap in there, you're still going to get a blowout. Keep it tight and you won't have as much blowout or any blowout at all. So I'm going to say that one's hacked as well. I actually like that one because I use it a lot. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you have any hacks that you want us to do, please send us a message and we'll see you on the next one.